Well, now to the continuing controversy surrounding U.S. President Donald Trump's executive order banning entry into the United States individuals from 7 Muslim-majority countries. The legalities of the order now rests with a federal appeals court. VOA's Richard Green has more on the Trump administration's efforts to overturn a restraining order that temporarily halts the initiative.
A 3-judge panel of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco heard oral arguments Tuesday from opposing lawyers during a telephone conference call that was live streamed over the internet and broadcast on cable television news.
How many federal offenses have we had being committed by people who came in with visas from these countries? And the ultimate was the answer was there haven't been any.
Yes, Your Honor. These proceedings have been moving quite fast, and we're doing the best we can. I can
You're
cite...
saying that the proceedings are moving fast, but you appealed to us before you continued in the district court to develop the record. So why should we be hearing this now if it sounds like you're trying to say you're going to present other evidence later?
There have been a number of people from Somalia connected to al-Shabaab who have been convicted in the United States.
Is that in the record? Can you point us to where in the record you're referring?
It is not in the record. There has also been other examples, but again, you're correct. These are not in the record.
The judges also challenged arguments by Noah Purcell, the chief lawyer for the state of Washington, which filed a lawsuit against the travel ban along with Minnesota. Purcell maintained the ban is unconstitutional because it specifically targets Muslims.
But the point is that that was clearly a motivating, what we have alleged, and again, yes it is, we do have to show a likelihood of success, but at this stage the case law is clear, our plausible allegations are taken as true for assessing that likelihood of success.
Wait a minute, that cannot possibly be true. We are supposed to take your word for it, the fact that you make an allegation of the complaint and that equals likelihood of success? You don't really mean that, do you?
Rory Fleming, a law professor with the University of California, said he does not think the judges were persuaded by the government's overall argument.
So, I mean, on balance, it doesn't sound like the court is going to grant the motion to vacate the stay. They might try to narrow that, or they might deny the motion and send it back to the trial court to narrow it, which strikes me as probably the more strategic decision.
The 3-court panel said it would issue a ruling as soon as possible. Immigrants have been streaming into the U.S. since the lower court suspended the travel ban last Friday. Opponents say if the ban is restored, it may trigger mass confusion and chaos at many of the nation's airports, just as it did when it was first imposed on January 27th. Hundreds of people were detained by customs officers at airports, and some of them were deported. That action sparked nationwide protests and prompted legal action on many fronts. Professor Fleming said no matter what happens at the federal appeals court, the case is likely to go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. The court has been evenly divided between 4 liberal-leaning justices and 4 conservative-leaning ones since the death last year of Justice Antonin Scalia. Richard Green, VOA News, Washington.